today carries a quiet power. November 19, a day when a man stood before a grieving nation. A day when words became stronger than gunfire. A day when the world learned that a speech could change the future. This is the story of the Gettysburg Address, delivered by Abraham Lincoln in the middle of the American Civil War. A war that had torn families apart. A war that questioned the meaning of freedom. A war fought over the very soul of a nation. 4 months earlier, the Battle of Gettysburg had ended. More than 50,000 soldiers were killed, wounded or missing. Fields became graves. Hills became scars. Cities mourned without understanding how much more pain was ahead. On this day, President Abraham Lincoln arrived in Gettysburg, not as a hero, not as a conqueror, but as a quiet leader seeking to heal a broken people. Many expected a long speech. Instead, Lincoln spoke only 2 minutes. But those 2 minutes created a message that would echo across centuries. He said that the world would not remember his words, but the world remembers them more than he ever imagined, because those words carried something deeper than politics. They carried purpose, sacrifice, and a new definition of freedom. The Gettysburg Address is more than a speech. It is a rebirth of a nation's identity. It reminds us that a country is not held together by power, but by the people who believe in it. It teaches that equality is not a decoration. It is the foundation of every free society. At its core, the speech was a promise that the dead would not be forgotten, a promise that their sacrifice would not be meaningless, a promise that freedom would be extended to all, not just the privileged, not just the powerful, but to every human being. It is important because it pushed America to face its truth, a truth that many wanted to avoid, a truth that demanded justice, a truth that forced a nation to grow up. Now, the positive side. The address strengthened the movement to end slavery. It gave hope to people who felt forgotten. It reminded leaders that power must serve humanity. It shaped modern democracy around the world. Many nations later used its message to build their own constitutions. Now, the negative side. The war continued. More lives were lost. Families remained divided. The healing Lincoln spoke of did not come quickly. And even after the war, equality still struggled to take full form. But why does it matter today? Because freedom is still tested. Because unity is still fragile. Because leadership still requires courage. Because words still have the power to guide nations. And because history repeats itself when lessons are ignored. The Gettysburg Address reminds us that democracy is alive only when people protect it. It reminds us that freedom is a responsibility. It reminds us that sacrifice must be honored, and that equality must be defended every single day. The world may change, generations may pass, but the message remains. A nation, any nation, must be dedicated to the idea that all people are created equal, not in theory, but in reality, not in speeches, but in actions. This is why November 19 cannot be erased. It is a moment that shaped the meaning of freedom, a reminder that even in the darkest times, purpose can rise, and a lesson that still guides the world we live in today. Because freedom is never finished. It must be protected each day. It must be guarded by every generation. The past shows us how easily justice can break, and how powerful unity becomes when people choose courage over silence. This moment teaches that progress does not happen by chance. It happens when ordinary people demand something better, when they stand for truth even when truth is uncomfortable, when they refuse to let history repeat its darkest chapters. And so, the message of Gettysburg still whispers to us to remember the cost of freedom, to rise above division, to choose humanity over hatred, to build a world worthy of the sacrifices made before us. This is how the promise continues, not through monuments, not through ceremonies, but through the choices we make every day. I am Mr. Fidi.